meeting to order. Is there any public comment? See none, we'll move on to the planning and zoning office report.
They're in front of you. Got May permit fees, and we're pretty much a little bit lower than last year, but not too bad actually. We had 8 residential, technically residential permits. Those are anything from a full building, anything that actually pays for a permit, and then 1 ag permit. 47 for the year, 7 ag, 32 building inspections. There has been hardly any noise or questioning as far as rezoning of any kind. I've heard nobody's actually inquired about rezoning stuff for like 2 or 3 months. So people must be sitting at home, not wanting to do much. So had a few new houses being built. But on the claims, I will note that we cleaned up a bunch of outstanding permits from 2014 in the last couple of months with inspection, finalizing inspections and stuff. And so it appears that the mileage on my budget line will be over for the year. I know at budget time, everybody, Kevin and Kyle and Anita were scrambling for every $100 to make a budget balance, so they lowered my mileage line with my consent. But I just told them, well, maybe very well go over, and that's what's going to happen. And that's about all I have.
Any questions? Okay. On the agenda, we have the reviewing of ordinances that everybody's should have been looking at them in the couple months we didn't meet. If anybody has anything to suggest or bring up, now's the time to do it.
I talked to Dan about it at one point. There's one change in the floodplain ordinance I would like to make, but I'm not going to do it it's not that big a deal. We'll change some wording. Right now, according to our ordinance, we require an elevation certificate if you're within 500 feet of a floodplain. To me, that, considering that we've dropped our basic the base flood on a living area, we dropped that from a foot to base flood to make it less restrictive. I don't see why we are requiring elevation certificates when you're not even in the floodplain. I think that's even more restrictive, and I think it's something that should be changed, and it probably would have to go through zoning board of appeals and zoning committee and full board. But I'm not going to do it just as a standalone. I would tag it to a zoning request change. We haven't had any. That's all my own. You guys want to review the ordinance? It's in the ordinance. If you want to review it, to me that's pretty restrictive. 500 feet is pretty restrictive when it's technically not even in the floodplain, and that's more restrictive than FEMA guidelines.
Is there any number you have in mind?
I would say if it's not in the floodplain, it shouldn't have to require an elevation certificate. It would be my opinion.
Geez, why do I have to disagree with everybody? But I disagree with you, Bob.
Okay.
And let me explain. You're assuming that the outlines on the floodplain are accurate. And I don't think they are to that degree. And that's probably why that was put in there. I live out here north of town in that low ground where Peters used to mine sand. And God, we get flooded out when it rains. I mean, they never should have given people permits to build out there. I mean, it's terrible. I'll have water from Route 1 all the way up to my front door. We get a good 4-inch rain. I mean, but I think that was probably put in there on the assumption that the lines of what is and isn't the floodplain aren't all that accurate.
Yeah, but you're still basing whether to do it or not based on elevation. And no matter if the line's drawn wrong or not, the elevation is going to be high enough to be out of the floodplain. And you're going to have to allow them to build, even if it's right next to the line. And actually, they can technically build within the floodplain if they have elevation. So, I mean, that's just a suggestion. I mean, it's just, to me, it's more we changed the freeboard to base flood, which was against FEMA guidelines, and now FEMA doesn't recommend with 500 feet, they say if you're out of the floodplain, should be no requirement for elevation. So to me, they're out there going opposite directions. That's all I was thinking. So you guys can take it for what it, there was nothing we can change without going through the process anyway. So it's the thought.
Do you want to change it?
Do I personally want to change it? Yeah. Because I think it hinders building. That's the biggest complaint when you tell somebody, well, you're within 500 feet of the floodplain, you've got to have an elevation with a licensed land surveyor. Not cheap. So, and then on the other hand, then we tell them we can build a base flood now instead of a foot above. So, I just think it's a contradiction in theory, not so much practice. You can take it for what it's at first. But it's nothing that's going to happen tomorrow or anything, because I can't just decide and change it.
That'd be something everybody go home tonight, pull it out and read it. Then we can put it on the agenda next month and we can have a discussion on it.
But
Be the right thing to do. Is there any other discussion on any other ordinance revisions? See none. Everybody has a copy with all the claims on there. There's individual claims if you want to look at them, but I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims. So moved by Dan Joyce. Is there a second? Second by Ernest Curtis. Call roll, please.
Curtis? Yes. Sherrill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes. Any old business? New business? Motion to adjourn?
Old business.
Old business.
Are we going to do anything about this easement crap?
I need to get a copy of that. I haven't had time to get a copy of that yet. I want to see Champagne's ordinance
I
before we go
talked
into
to a
it.
couple of board members a while, and I've talked to some of my neighbors, and I haven't found anybody that's, except for Jim and Bob, and I don't think we should try to at least look into trying to do something about that.
Yeah, we need a copy of Champagne's ordinance.
They just, anybody I've talked to says if you pay for a title search, if you're buying a piece of ground in this county, you pay it, you, the bank, the seller, buyer, whoever, pays a title company to do a title search. They should have a reasonable expectation that that title search is going to be accurate. And the title search can't be accurate if we don't require easements to be recorded in the county. Why should a bank or anybody even bother doing them? Because they're just junk at that point.
Well, I don't disagree necessarily with that, but you also have a situation in many cases where easements that may have been granted a long time ago are no longer of any real value or whatever, but they're still there.
Right.
If you record an easement on the land, you have to have the process to vacate that easement at some point in time, and it gets back to your title search, it gets back to any transaction involving, transfer of ownership of the land. And it can get back into your use of the land. If there's an easement there, and I think this is a part of what you're saying, is if there's an easement there that you don't know about, and you put up a building or some other improvement on the land that crosses that easement or interferes with it in some way.
Well, yeah,
you have a problem.
outside of my personal thing, I've got a good friend outside of Iroquois County down south, got an easement to get to a field up in them hills, and they sold it. Fortunately, he went to high school with the guy that bought it. Guy came in and built a hunting cabin right in the middle of the easement. He come to go up to his field, he couldn't get through to it. And they were able to work it out, but there's a lawsuit over it because the guy's suing the bank and the title company because nobody, and it was recorded. But I mean, I just think, John, I think there's a moral obligation that, you know, if a person's gonna buy a piece of property in this county, they should be able to have a reasonable expectation if they do a title search, anything connected to that property is gonna be revealed in the title search.
Well, that's all well and good if we decide to have something like that be required. It's kind of like a can of worms, you know. Where are you going to start? Or how far back are you going to go? How are you going to implement the whole thing? All that has to be worked out and be a part of it. Otherwise, people just ignore it. Obviously, you don't want that to happen.
Right.
So you have to come up with a plan. Are you going to say from this day forward, or are you going to have to go back and say everybody that has an easement has to come forward and get it recorded by a certain date, or it won't be of any value anymore? Whatever, you know, that should be a part of whatever plan you're proposing or suggesting.
Is there a fee for recording them?
Recording anything, it's a fee.
What is it?
Recorder's office.
I thought your office did that. No.
He's not the county clerk and recorder.
Yeah, there's a fee for anything you record, there's a fee, but I don't know, if they have a fee schedule depending on what it is, and I don't know what that is. You'd have to ask them.
Let's get a copy of Champaign. We can distribute it next month. Well, maybe next month for sure. We distribute it, everybody can review it. And we'll go from there whether the committee wants to take action on it. That would be a good place to start. We can have a
Is it part of the
discussion.
zoning ordinance, or is it part of something else?
According to what they told me, it's part of the zoning ordinance, but what it doesn't address the easements. It specifically addresses what started this whole conversation was Eastern Illini wanting to cut down tree limbs. And, you know, they want to come and hack out a circle around the power lines without really doing a proper job of it. And I said, well, no, if you're going to cut them down, cut them down. You know, don't make it look like hell. And they said, well, no, it's you know, it might be your property, you might own it, but you don't have anything to say about what we do or don't do.
Champaign requires, is it part of their zoning ordinance, or is it part of the
What
regular?
Don Gervis from Eastern Illini said it's part of their zoning.
Okay, so you know where we're going to look for it.
But it specifically addresses the electric company cutting down tree limbs. What I'm asking, or what my, you know, gripe is that he told me that they've got all these easements in their vault that nobody knows about. So if you go to buy, you know, I just bought some ground. If you go to buy that ground from me, you do a title search on it, it's going to come back clear. I sell you the ground, and 2 months later, my neighbor puts up a pole barn, and they come on to your property, tap into a transformer that you bought and paid for, and feed electricity, put poles across your property to feed a meter over on his property. There's nothing you can do about it. You didn't even know about it. I just think that's wrong, Bob.
You have the ability to contact other counties through a program. I know Gloria was able to do it before, and there's some program. I don't remember what she used to use, but yeah, there was something I know she used to use to contact other counties that we could ask. Charlie?
I do believe there are certain kind of easements that go defunct if it's not activated and used by a certain date. And the use of it is kind of very nimble. They don't have to do much. They have to do something. Keep it in effect. They do nothing for quite a while. That's resistant.
Maybe we should ask, Don Gervis was one from Eastern Illini that was telling me about all these. Maybe we should ask him to come here next month. Because when I originally talked to him about it, he said he'd be open to that.
Yeah, that'd be fine. We can get him here. He can come. We can
I think one thing that we should do is to try and see what other counties have.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Not that we need to do what they're doing, we need to decide
We need to start.
what we want to do here, but if we see what someone else is doing, there may be information that would be helpful for us in putting together what we want to do. It sounds like this from Champaign may not fit that bill.
Plus you're also doing, you're gonna have to, like your subdivisions or platted subdivisions that are already recorded or would be recorded, they already have that easements spelled out within the subdivision plat, because that's part of the, that's part of the planning process. So, you know, a lot of that stuff, in certain situations, that stuff's already done, because, you know, when you plat a subdivision, you gotta plat all your water line easements, utility easements, and so forth, and your setbacks for that. But, you know, the more rural stuff, when you got farmers giving the neighbor an easement, or even like out here, where they talk about doing easement for the soccer field, that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that I think you're trying to address, like, me, right?
You what?
That's the kind of stuff you're trying to address, is the oddball stuff, because like your villages and your subdivisions already have easements, part of the subdivision plat, and that's always reported.
Correct me if I'm wrong, those aren't easements, those are right-of-ways, aren't they? Isn't there a difference?
Well, they call it, I mean, you look at a lot of subdivision plats, they call it a utility easement, like, and, you know, and obviously it's used for multiple purposes. You got right-of-ways too, but down between, I think, Lincoln and Grant, there's no, it's not an alley back there. There's no right-of-way, but they got utility easements, because that's where all your cable and your electric come in, is down in between the houses. And I know when people build fences in town, they have to make sure they're within, away, you know, a certain distance from those utility easements, because that's allow enough room for fire and ambulance. And so those type of things are already built in within the subdivision plat itself. But like when you talk about two guys getting together to get access to a field or an area back in timber or something, that's the stuff that doesn't, sometimes doesn't get reported, because it's just two guys saying, and they put it within, and they may put it within the deed too. I mean, to me, if you want an easement to get somewhere, I would have documentation that's already recorded, that's something that they understand.
Right. And a lot of people wouldn't know. That's why I think we should do something here where we require it, you know. That way if John and I make a deal and 10 years from now I sell it to you, and a week later John's knocking on your door saying, hey, you can't do that, Dan and I had a deal. You know, I think we need to protect everybody. You know, Jim's...
The example that you're giving, probably wouldn't hold up in court unless it's recorded somewhere or executed in some legal document form. Is that right? I mean, you know, you're saying that if you and I made a deal and you sold the land to him or whatever the point being, the guy that bought the land doesn't know about something like that.
Doesn't matter. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an expert, but my friend down south, I can get him on the phone now. The guy that bought that ground had to tear that cabin down. Now, he's okay with my buddy because it wasn't his fault, but he's suing the bank and the title company now. But he had to tear the building down.
Okay, but the burden of proof was on the guy that had the easement, that one.
He had a copy of the easement, correct.
That's what I just said. If it's just two people making a verbal agreement, then, you know, something...
It wouldn't be binding at all.
Right.
My point is, if it's not recorded with this county, it's junk. I mean, otherwise, any title search isn't going to reveal anything.
To me, that sounds like a proper procedure that should be followed, but the biggest offender might be the utilities.
I'll call the surrounding counties if you want me to and see if they're doing anything.
We can all call around and see if they have anything. We can meet next month and have it on the agenda and have a full discussion.
Most of your utilities follow pathways along the road, but they do in some instances if there's landlocked property or something of that sort, you got a little different situation. That's kind of what you're talking about in your case.
Right. And then,
landlocked property.
according to, now in the case of electrical, the power utility company, Don told me there's also differences on the easements between a primary and a secondary. That's why I think it'd be interesting to hear what he's got to say, you know.
We don't have much to do anyway, we might as well get something,
Yeah.
get a controversy going of some kind.
Yeah, let's stir it up. It'll wake Charlie up.
Better than the
There
10 meetings we've been
isn't
having.
there isn't much activity in the wind farm area, so let's get this one.
There you go. All right, Dan wanted a motion to adjourn.
We'll put it on the agenda next month. We can have a nice long discussion on it. Maybe we can get him here and get Jim Devine back here too if there's any legal questions. We can take it step by step and we'll go from there.
Jim Devine wanted to come today, he asked me if there was anything going on, I said no, he said, well, I'm not coming.
There's never usually anything going on, especially lately. So, any other new business? Okay, seeing none, motion to adjourn. Moved by Dan Joyce, is there a second?
Ernie?
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye, same sign.